Hey, everybody, it's Tony Cadaspati from GreatVocalMajority.com, website, blog, podcast, YouTube channel, etc. You know the deal. Today, I want to talk to you just for a couple minutes about this. Well, the media keeps calling it a firestorm. So I guess maybe that's what they want it to be. Between Donald Trump and the Muslim father of a soldier who was killed in Iraq 12 years ago. And it just keeps going on and on. And I want to talk about it a little bit because I think it highlights a lot of things. It highlights something about the media, it highlights something about Trump. It also highlights something about the Democratic Party and what they're doing. So let me talk about that for a minute. First, let me talk about the media bias. You know, during the Republican National Convention, one of the mothers of the guys, of one of the four guys killed in Iraq and Libya in Benghazi, spoke in prime time about the death of her son and how she blamed it on Hillary Clinton. That woman has been virtually ignored by every media outlet. They don't pay attention to her. As a matter of fact, Chris Matthews even came out and said he doesn't care what she has to say. And he called her a liar for saying that Hillary Clinton said that told the mother that the responsible person for the incident in Benghazi was this YouTube video, the maker of a YouTube video. She's not the only mother who said that. There was another family where they said that Hillary Clinton told her exactly the same thing. So, and you know, to be fair, there are other families that said that Hillary Clinton never told them that, but it's not clear if she told them it was a terrorist attack either. So anyhow, but you look at that, and that only happened 4 years ago, and they're not paying attention to her. And that is a direct reflection of Hillary Clinton. But they are paying attention to this father who lost his son 12 years ago. And obviously it still hurts. I mean, I don't blame him for that. I mean, it's never going to go away. That pain is never going to go away. So I understand that. But I also understand that when you get up in front of a camera on a national stage and you make comments about a presidential candidate, you've entered the arena. And now you're subject to all the things that happen to people in the political arena. So I kind of question the methods of the Democratic Party for putting a man like that up there, because they know what it's going to do, and they know it. They know they are manipulating him, and they are really taking advantage of him. But having said that, even though that guy came out and was hammering Trump about the Constitution and claiming he never read it, I don't believe that Trump should have really apologized to the man, or he should have even addressed it. Not directly. But Trump has this problem where anytime somebody says anything critical about him, he feels the compulsion to respond. It's a compulsive problem. It may be a little OCD, to be honest, on that score. So I think it tells us something about Trump, is that he just can't take any kind of criticism at all. And he's going to have to get over that if he's ever going to become president. Now, other people that were ignored at the Republican National Convention by the media were people who lost children due to the violence perpetrated on their families by illegal immigrants. None of them were picked up by the media. None of them. Not only that, during one of the speeches of a man who was a black man who lost his son, and whose son was targeted by an illegal Mexican gangbanger, was targeted specifically because he was black. While he was speaking, CNN cut away in the middle, actually at the beginning of his speech, to talk to Van Jones, a communist and a former member of the Obama administration, to talk about how hateful the RNC was. But, the Democrats a week later did the same thing with Mr. Khan, didn't they? Actually, it's not even the same thing, because Hillary Clinton was more responsible for putting that man's son in Iraq than Donald Trump was. So those are two examples of how the media just ignored. And, the media ignoring things is better get used to it, because they're going to do everything they can to drag Hillary Clinton over the finish line here. But, having said all of this, Trump has to be smarter. Trump has to know that he's not going to get a fair shake out of the media. They're going to go after him hammer and tongue. They're not going to give him an easy ride. They're going to go after him constantly. And, people have to remember, what the hell is Donald Trump going on this week with George Stephanopoulos for? I mean, seriously. George Stephanopoulos is a former Clinton administration official, and in his book, he said Hillary Clinton claimed, "I love you, George Stephanopoulos," and he told Hillary Clinton back, "I love you too." I mean, these people are joined at the hip. And not only that, here's a former Clinton administration official who's not only has a Sunday talk show for an hour, he's on 4 hours a day during the work week for Good Morning America. He's on 21 hours a week on ABC's air nationally, spouting Clinton administration official, former Clinton administration official, Clinton friend, attitudes and biases. So Trump picks that show to go on? I mean, does that make any sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. And particularly when you look, you could say, oh, well, it's just George Stephanopoulos, he's just the guy doing the interview. The producer of This Week with George Stephanopoulos is married to Susan Rice. The head of ABC is a big Democrat. I mean, ABC is probably the most biased news network. It has so many entanglements with the Obama administration. I have another video on it. Go through my channel. You'll find it. It's there. I mean, it's incestuous, the relationship between the media and the Obama administration and Democrats generally. So he goes on there, and he taped the show on Saturday to be aired on Sunday. And of course he came off looking, not that great again on Sunday, because Trump, I think, just does shoot from the hip and makes, he says a lot of impolitic things. He has to know that even though he may be, in some ways justified returning fire on the father of this soldier, he's got to know that the media is going to play that up to the hilt and make it and just amplify it louder and louder and make him look terrible. He has to be smarter than this. But I think he was actually a little smarter than I gave him credit for initially, because on Saturday, he released a statement right after he recorded that interview with George Stephanopoulos. He released a statement, and I'm going to read it to you. Statement goes like this. The Trump for President campaign today released the full transcript of Donald Trump's response to a pre-taped ABC This Week question from George Stephanopoulos, referring criticism from Khizr Khan. Okay, so that's how it starts. And I'll just start reading the actual statement itself. Captain Humayun Khan was a hero to our country, and we should honor all who have made the ultimate sacrifice to keep our country safe. The real problem here are the radical Islamic terrorists who killed him, and the efforts of these radicals to enter our country to do us further harm. Given the state of the world today, we have to know everything about those looking to enter our country, and given the state of chaos in some of these countries, that is impossible. While I feel deeply for the loss of his son, Mr. Khan, who has never met me, has no right to stand in front of millions of people and claim I have never read the Constitution, which is false, and say many other inaccurate things. If I become president, I will make America safe again. And then Trump goes further to talk about Hillary Clinton. He says further, Hillary Clinton should be held accountable for her central role in destabilizing the Middle East. She voted to send the United States to war against Iraq, helped lead the disastrous withdrawal of American troops years later that created the vacuum, allowing the rise of ISIS, and has never met a regime change she didn't like, which have all been disasters, not to mention her invasion of Libya and her abandonment of American personnel in Benghazi. The loss of these lives in Libya is directly traceable to Clinton, but their families' testimonials were rejected by the media. That's what I just told you. Clinton's actions have been reckless and have directly led to the loss of American lives, and her extreme immigration policies also laid out American victims in Cleveland will cause preventable deaths of countless more, while putting all residents from all places at greater risk of terrorism. As Bernie Sanders said on numerous occasions, Hillary Clinton suffers from bad judgment. She is not qualified to serve as commander-in-chief. Donald J. Trump. Now, that's something that he should have said on Sunday when he was sitting with George Stephanopoulos. But, you know, I feel better that at least he came out with this statement before the Sunday show. But notice, did George Stephanopoulos talk about that? Did he mention it at all? He had wind of it. It was done on Saturday. No. Why are you going on This Week with George Stephanopoulos when that's the kind of treatment you get, Mr. Trump? That's it for me.